Hi, welcome to Hofer. In this video I want to show you why reverb is so important for many mixes, what defines good use of reverb and which mistakes you should avoid. Let's start by listening to some recordings with a natural reverb, that is, recordings made in a room with relevant reflections and a relatively long reverb time. This is particularly common and useful, for example, when recording in an orchestra. Or a choir. In modern music genres and productions, however, most signals are mic'd very closely and therefore contain little or no natural ambience. Most of the time that is what we want, and we can use effects to create and adjust the reverb afterwards. You can hear this dry, direct sound in vocal recordings, for example.
I would feel so wealthy, think I'm strong and healthy.
Or with drums. Based on our hearing experience in everyday life, we quickly realize that such recordings do not sound realistic regarding the acoustic space. Normally, in almost all environments, sound events such as voices and instruments produce reflections that create a certain spatial impression, depending on the size and the design of the room. And this is where reverb enters the picture. With modern effect plugins, we can create this spatial impression for a dry, direct recording in our DAWs retrospectively. As an example, let's listen to the vocals from before with some suitable reverb.
I would feel so wealthy, think I'm strong and healthy.
Now that sounds more realistic and more natural, and more like pop vocals. You can hear how much of a difference the reverb makes by comparing the recordings with and without effect.
I would feel so wealthy, think I'm strong and healthy. I would feel so wealthy, think I'm strong and healthy.
Reverb is also essential when multiple tracks are playing together, as it helps to interconnect different elements while also giving them different positions in the room. Furthermore, mixes without any spatial information tend to sound flat and often boring. Let's listen to the same singer again, this time with additional backing tracks. The same reverb, with slight adjustments and a higher level, was used for the background vocals.
Only time can set me free. Only time can make me see. Only time for you and me. Only time can set me free. Only time can make me see. Only time for you and me.
It's also worth taking a look at the drums. How do drum mixes sound with and without reverb? The next example shows the drums with reverb on the snare drum and a little less on the bass drum. But let's begin with the dry version. The result is a larger and more realistic drum sound. The different send levels allow you to add more reverb to the snare than to the bass drum. And this is really important, because otherwise you can quickly end up with an imprecise, boomy bass range. In many cases, using a reverb as an insert on the stereo drum bus is not a good idea, especially if it is a reverb that is not really suitable for drums. In our next example, you will hear the drums with a reverb as an insert effect. And it's just that reverb that worked so well with the vocals. That sounds just too diffuse and indirect. To easily find the ideal reverb, you can use the filter function in the IQ Series Reverb to narrow down your search to specific reverb categories, applications or limitations, such as reverb duration. Finally, let's listen to a full mix with and without reverb and delay effects. When listening to the following comparison, pay attention to how the individual elements sound more separated without reverb, how the mix appears flatter, and how the character of the song changes. So that's it for now on this important topic. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like or leave a comment. With the online courses from Hofer, you can learn everything about audio engineering and music production. Check it out on hofer-college.com.